Here are 5 pros and 5 cons about the X100VI. Okay, so in this video, I want to tell you 5 things that I love about this camera and 5 things that I don't love that much. Okay, so the first one is the form factor. Look, I love the size and portability of this camera. This is one of the reasons I think a lot of people pick this up, is because of its travel friendliness. It can go anywhere with you. You can sling it around your neck and forget that it's there. I mean, at the moment I have an adapter and a lens hood on, so it has kind of, as you can see, made it slightly protrude, but you can get it down even smaller if you wish. This is one of the best things about this camera, is just the size. Okay, so there's no getting around it. This is a 40 megapixel camera. That's kind of incredible in such a small body. This is great for punching in, cropping. I don't know if you need 40 megapixels. I mean, I've been working 26 for the last year and been very happy, but 40 is something else. You know, look, it's obviously welcomed. Yeah, a great new feature. Okay, the third thing is that it has X processor 5. It is well up to date with the flagship cameras that Fuji have produced. So although this is an expensive thing, which we'll get onto in a moment, you are getting the latest sensor and processor in this camera. Okay, so this thing shoots 6.2K 422 10-bit. I think that's incredible. I don't know if it's needed in a camera like this. I'm using this mainly for photography. I'd love to do some tests, some video tests with this camera, but it has IBIS in it now, so it's not got that jittery shake. So it's a nice feature to have. I can't lie. Having that in this camera is quality. Okay, so the fifth thing is that it is weather sealed. However, only if you get an adapter. I have an adapter for it already, so I can mount a lens filter. I have the ethereal ProMist filter from Earth. I'll link that in the description if you're interested. And I also have my lens hood. Now, it's fully weather sealed as it is here, but not straight out of the box. So be careful, because I have heard and read online that it's people think that it's weather sealed, but it's not fully. So there is a catch to that. But once it is fully weather sealed, you can use it in all types of weather. And I used it on a rainy day recently and it worked fine. Some other things I really love about this camera is the articulating screen. Like I mentioned, it has IBIS now. I love that it has an OVF, just like in my X Pro 3, and it can now shoot 4K 60 as well. So if I want to do any slow-mo footage, I can do that. So yeah, for a camera this size, it can really hold its own. Have you ever wondered, when you buy a camera like this, like the X100VI, you go out, you shoot, and you think that you've got some of the best photos you've ever taken, only to get home and find that they're not as great as you hoped? You go from ecstatic to completely dumbfounded and just like, what am I doing wrong? Well, if that's the case, possibly you should go check out my course. It's called the Storytellers Lens, and it's all about telling more compelling stories within your photos. Within this course, I am going to teach you the basics about photography and how to tell stories and capture in your photos. This will go deep into how to use light to your benefit, framing photos, perception, shutter speed, aperture, all the things you need to know to make your photos stand out. So if that's something you're interested in, go check out my website and use the code J10 and you'll get yourself 10% off as a thank you for watching this video. This is the point we get to where we talk about the cons of this camera, and firstly, we just have to talk about the price. I do think it's overpriced for what it is. On some level, I don't think it's necessary to have some of the features that are in this camera, like 6.2K 422 10-bit recording. I don't think that's necessary. I always thought this was a digital point and shoot for photographers, but like I said, it's nice that it's in there. There are other things that I'd prefer. Fully weather sealing out of the box would be more preferable. The battery. The battery life is still not very good. These things, these tiny little batteries, just don't compete with the other Fuji battery. I guess if you get a bigger battery, it's going to make the whole thing bigger, and so, but it'd be nice if they could just get a battery that could last a bit longer. That would be very much appreciated. For me, this is fine, but I think you should know that it is obviously a fixed lens, so you can't change lenses. So you are stuck to a 23mm, which is equivalent to a 35mm on a full frame sensor. I love this focal length, but it isn't for everyone. And if you buy this and you're suddenly thinking, oh, I really want another focal length, then you can't, because this is all you got. You obviously can crop though if you want to get tighter in. Like I said, 40 megapixel camera, you got a lot of megapixels to play around with there, so cropping wouldn't be an issue. Because it's so small and there's no fan on this thing, this has the potential to overheat. More so if you are shooting video, but I imagine people who have this camera use it sparingly, especially when it comes to video. They're not using this for like a vlog as I'm doing here. I've set up my X100VI and I've been shooting for a few minutes now, and I'm pretty sure that's not going to overheat. This thing obviously would, and you do have to be very mindful of that. So another little con there. And the last thing is just the hype and demand around it. These are quite hard to get hold of, and it then drives the prices up on eBay who are after them. I got mine from MPB. I would really recommend going to that company because they deal with cameras all day long, and I feel like they gave this a high rating and I knew it was going to come back good. I got mine for a good price. It wasn't overpriced. It definitely wasn't cheap though. But as a professional photographer and someone who has been shooting for a while, I kind of know what I'm going to get. I had the X100F recently, have got rid of my X Pro 3, and this is something I knew that was going to be something I wanted to invest in. I knew this is something I was going to use, you know, a hell of a lot. I do think the hype is real because I have loved it. I cannot lie. I have really loved this camera, but the hype around it really sometimes, especially at the beginning, really put me off from buying it. I needed all of that to kind of, you know, die down. One of the other small cons I've noticed is that there has been reports that some of the coating on the camera has been kind of chipping away pretty easily. I remember hearing Roman Fox say that he had to get his repaired. Fuji repaired it pretty seamlessly, but that's not good, especially when something costs this much. You kind of want it to be a little bit more premium and not chip and wear away so easily. So yeah, there are my loves and they are my gripes. I'm still getting to get used to this camera. I'd love to make more videos on this because I think it's just the perfect camera to kind of fall in love with, you know, take on trips and take photos and short videos. I think, you know, using those film simulations for your videos is really cool. And as you guys know, I love designing my own Fuji recipes, so you can look out for a few videos like that in the new year. If you're interested in some of my accessories that I have on this, I've listed them in the description below, or you can watch one of my videos on that where I talk about all the accessories and break down what I actually have on this camera. Okay, so that's going to do it for this one. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.